Today I'm announcing that I will not be seeking re-election and that my term as Prime Minister will conclude no later than the 7th of February. This has been the most fulfilling 5.5 years of my life, but it has also had its challenges. I know what this job takes, and I know that I no longer have enough in the tank to do it justice.
An emotional speech by New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern last night announcing plans that she would resign. She became Prime Minister at the age of 37 and broke many barriers for women in politics. I want to bring in Chi Nhan now, Executive Director for Equal Voice, an organization dedicated to electing women for all levels of political office in Canada. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks very much for having me here today, Marcia.
I think a lot of us were surprised by this resignation. What was your reaction to this news and to the way that she made the announcement?
I read the news last night and, had a moment of kind of a real pause, because I think she really has shown up, Prime Minister Ardern has shown up as a really authentic, courageous, and brave leader. I think she's shown us that it is beautiful to be a human being and show up as a whole person in your leadership style. And I think many of us have many leadership lessons to learn from. And I think many political leaders can learn from her ways of communicating as well. When I think about she's talked about some of the challenges and having enough energy. It is a hard job to serve our communities. It is a hard job to lead. And I think it's important when we recognize that, it is time to pause and reimagine and let new growth and new things emerge. I think about the work that we're doing at Equal Voice, and one of the pieces of work we've been looking at is around gender inclusive parliaments. How do we make this workplace actually better for all leaders, but in particular thinking about the additional barriers that women face in office. And so some of the things, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, let's discuss that further, because there were so many firsts with her. She was the first to bring a baby into Parliament. She was the first really to show emotion. She was so incredibly young. And let's not forget, she's been on the job for 7 years. That is not inconsequential. What message do you think that she has sent during her time as leader?
I think when I think about the ways in which she has shown up and led, you talked about those incredible firsts. I think she did it all the time, doing it with lots of audacity and clarity, and an incredible communicator. I think what I really appreciated in her style of leadership was how open she was, how honest she was. And when she was taking tough, bold decisions, she was doing it with a real clarity that I think many of us are hungry for. When you're talking about making a place more inclusive for everyone, you think about whole families, you think about multiple generations. And I think by showing up as a leader in those ways, it's really set a tone and a message that these are places that belong to people. And so we should make these institutions more whole and more human.
You said you gave out a big sigh when you heard that she was stepping back. Does it concern you at a time when it's so difficult to get women, to attract women into politics, that this sends a message? I'll let you fill in the blanks, but do you worry about the message, I guess, that it sends to women who are contemplating a future in politics?
I think one of the signals and the messages is that it is okay to recognize when you don't have enough to keep going. And that's actually in service when you step back and realize that there's another chance, another opportunity for renewal. I think that's really healthy, and something that all of us should be thinking about in politics is like, when can we step back? When do we know that it's too much? But it does say a lot about the costs, the personal costs when people get to serve in leadership. So it's really brave and important to recognize that people can burn out. And before it becomes unhealthy and a huge personal cost, it's important to set up that succession plan. And I think what she's doing is really honest and brave and really good for politics. Yeah. Thinking about that renewal and thinking about what conditions can be created so that people see that there's opportunities to step up and lead.